to all my peoples out there. I really appreciate you guys over the last year chiming in to Chris Graves Golf and everything that we're doing over here, trying to build this community. But look, I want to talk to you guys about how do you really get better? Like, what's the real thing about getting better, right? Like, how do you go from 100 to 90s to 80s to 70s? Okay. Like, what's that all about? Like, how do you really do that, right? So, here's the trick. It's not a trick, but here's the deal. You have to start either pen and paper, spreadsheets, or apps. They got tons of apps out right now. You've got to start writing down every shot you take. Every shot you take. Is it left? Is it right? Did I hit a 7-iron too long? Did I hit it too short? How many putts did I take? How many chips did I take? How many drives? How many times I hit my hybrid? And every time you hit a particular club, where did that club go? Okay. Now, why? Because you'll start developing over the course of time a trend, and you'll start seeing, hold up, all of my par threes, or 75% of my par threes, I hit short, right? Or, 55% of my approach shots are off to the left, right? And then what you can start doing once you've established some type of trend, you can start to analyze that and work on what you don't do well. That's the key with golf. Working and being dedicated to what you don't do well. Okay. Now, so this is my 26th year of golf. Okay. So for the first couple, first year or so, actually the first 18 months, I never even got on the golf course. I just was driving range only because I was embarrassed by how bad my swing was. Okay. Then I started playing. Okay. So then I quickly went from, I don't know, a 100 shooter to down to mid 80s, right? Quickly, like within 6 months, right? Then I got stuck at that level for a long time, for I don't know, a year or so, right? I was just stuck at 85. Every round was between 84 and 89, every single round, right? And so I started to analyze. So then this is when we were doing spreadsheets and so forth. So every scorecard I would write down driver left, driver long, driver solid, middle of the fairway, that kind of stuff, right? And then my approach shot. Then I would look at the par threes. Are they short, long, left, right? Then I would look at my chipping, and then I would look at how many putts per round. Okay. Is it 29? Is it 40? That kind of stuff, right? And then I said, you know what? At the time, my 8-iron, my 7 or 8 iron was my favorite club to hit in the bag, right? I said, I'm not hitting those anymore. I'm going to hit the 4-iron, which was the worst club for me. I'm going to hit that more. Either I hit it softer, I hit it, just a little bit different. So what started happening is I started honing in on what I don't do well. Then all of a sudden, I said, why am I short on every par three? Because I got the wrong club in my hand. Instead of having a 7, I should have a 6 or a 5, And now I'm hitting the greens versus being short. Okay. Makes total sense to me, right? So I swallowed my pride a little bit, for whatever reason. And next thing you know, I'm shooting 81s. Next thing you know, I'm shooting 79. Okay. And it kept getting lower and lower and lower because I consistently started working on the things that I didn't do well. Okay. My chipping was a little wacky. Started working hard on that. But I was only able to start figuring these things out based on annotating that and writing down every single shot. Right. And then start looking at trends. I literally had spreadsheets of like, okay, I played twice this week, twice this week, next week. I played, I don't know, 8 times in a month, right? I would look at all those rounds and just kind of really start figuring out, dude, you're hitting driver left 60% of the time. Like, what are you doing? Right. And I think if you don't annotate like that, if you don't write this stuff down, you really don't see the trend. You just really, really don't. Okay. So you got to focus on writing things down. Every shot if you're really trying to jump off the ladder of shooting in the hundreds, then get down to 90s, then get down to 80s, then get down to 70s, you have to write down every shot so that you can establish trends in your game. Okay. Doing this really was the number one way I went from, you know, just starting golf 26 years ago, shooting 100, down to a very, very low handicap. I was at one point I was consistently a one, two, or three handicap. I was in that ballpark for a very, very long time. I don't play as much as I used to, so my handicap is a little bit higher now. But um, when I was really grinding on it, I would come home from a round, I would have my scorecard, and I would put all that information into a spreadsheet. Like I said before, you can get an app to do this stuff now. It makes it super easy, okay? But really writing down and annotating everything that you do. Stop working on what you do well, work on what you don't do well. Okay. And it's an ego trip. It's an ego trip. Everybody wants to get out there and hit their favorite club a million times, right? But that's not going to get you better. That's really, really not. Or it may not necessarily be your favorite club. It may be your favorite distance. So, like for instance, say 150, that's your favorite distance, but 165, that's not. So you got to work on 165, okay? Or if that 40-yard chip is the one that's killing you because you hit it fat every time, that's the shot you got to hit. That's the shot you got to go practice, right? And figure out how to get better at that. Because I guarantee you, two or three times in a round, that shot's going to come up and you're going to hit it fat. And you're going to be wondering why you lost strokes, right? This game is all about how can you mitigate risk. How can you mitigate risk? How can you become a better player by saying, okay, on this par four right here, what's the easiest route to get a par? What's the simplest route to get a par? Okay. It's not always going to be hitting driver on a par four or on a par five. Okay. Sometimes, honestly, sometimes I'll hit say like, if my 8 iron is my 150 club, right? And it's a par three to go to 150. Okay. I'll just say, you know what? Let me hit a softer seven instead of trying to like muscle an eight. Okay. Or I'm looking at hazards. I'm looking at all these different criteria. That's why the game is so beautiful because it's not just about hitting a ball that's coming straight at you like in baseball or tennis, right? You got to put in all these different factors: the wind, the rain, the environments that are going on that day, how you feeling that day, all these different things, right? But you've got to get better at what you don't do well. That is really, really the key. What you don't do well. Okay. So, Adele Bennett, how you doing? Appreciate it. Happy Gilmore, the movie. Right, exactly. Happy Gilmore, the movie. Whatever that means, Happy Gilmore, the movie. And Ashant, I guess that's Ashant. Appreciate you chiming in, my friend. But look, it's Thanksgiving. I just stopped off at the grocery store because the wife sent me. Who sends you out on Thanksgiving morning or afternoon now? Thanksgiving to go buy a few extra things, right? We forgot about getting the ice cream for the apple pie, so I'm at the store getting ice cream for the apple pie, but it's all good. All right, so look, you guys take care. I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys for chiming in, and we'll just continue to keep this Chris Graves golf thing, Chris Graves golf community going as much as we possibly can. But just remember the key point: work on what you don't do well. But in order for you to figure out what you don't do well, trending wise, you have to write that down. Write down, annotate every single shot, excuse me. All right. You guys have an awesome day. If you get out there and play Black Friday or this weekend, just hit them straight, keep grinding. Take care.